Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Ooh, it looks like there's already a couple people here. Hope you guys didn't sit and wait too long. I just got back from court maybe an hour ago. I wanted to get home and get a couple things taken care of and kind of update everybody on what happened in court. So, like, oh, somebody's having a conversation. Hey guys, how you doing? Uh, Maybe I should give it a minute. Everybody, when they do these live streams, they give it a couple minutes till people show up. Maybe I'll do that. Anybody have any questions for me uh, before I start explaining what happened in court? All right. Everybody wants to hear what happened in court. I asked my attorney to withdraw from the case today. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. I support you guys too. That's part of the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. Oh, and I'm going to explain how I did something today that I hope will help all of you. Let me just get back here. I'm streaming from my phone because I couldn't figure out how to do it through my computer. I had to do some kind of encoding software, and I didn't want to mess with all that. My brain's already a little bit numb from going through this and having to basically do my attorney's job and write this letter up. If I would not have done this, I would have come home a felon today. And there's a few people I have to thank for helping me point out some of the laws, rules, state rules, things like that, that were being hidden from me from my attorney. And man, it really helped out. So I had signed a plea deal a month ago, thinking that there was no more hope for me. I ran out of money. Um, there was nothing I could do to fight back to prove my innocence and possibly prove that I'm being stalked and harassed. So I wrote up this letter. Sorry, I'm making all this noise with this thing, but I wrote up this letter. It's like 2.5 pages, and it's basically it was a statement to the judge and to the court. And I did a video last night reading this statement, and I mentioned a couple of the Arizona rules, the laws here, where they have to provide me with exculpatory evidence that is. Oh wait, it's not. Oh, you know what? I gave all of mine out with those in there. Anyway, here I'll just from memory. I'll do my best. Arizona State Rules 15.1 states that they must provide all evidence in a case that I can't remember how it's stated, but they have to provide all of the evidence. They can't withhold the evidence that they think might be detrimental to them. They have to give it all to me, and they're not. After 11 police officers responded to this call, not one of them have any body camera footage from the event. So in this letter, I asked for the exculpatory evidence. And man, I threw myself off. I started this video without the actual letter that I'm talking about, the statement. But long story short, I went in and I asked to withdraw, which Arizona Rule 17.4 says that if there's more evidence that can be presented and there there's more that I have to provide for this case, then I have the legal right to withdraw my plea deal. And I tried to do that, and actually what they did, the judge, because it's up to the judge, and I requested that because my attorney has completely negatively affected me, not helped me. Um, Sorry, I'm losing track here. Wow, I really hit a wall right there. Sorry. Um, 17.4 says that I can withdraw my plea deal. So there's more evidence that hasn't been provided to me, so I can. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. You too. Everybody's going through this. You know, I don't. I'm do a lot of these, and it's like I'm trying to draw attention to myself, but it's like I wish every single one of you would do these videos too and just talk about all this stuff. If there's hundreds of thousands of people that are going through this and you're putting all that out there, after enough time, people will just be like, okay, this isn't possible that this is not happening. Anyway, that's a whole nother talk show. So the judge didn't let me withdraw the plea deal, but what they did is let me withdraw my attorney. Got rid of them. They appointed me a public defender and gave me another court date of January 7th. So I have from now until then to recover my money from the attorney that did not zealously defend me. That's legal speak. Read that. So anyway, they didn't zealously defend me, and so I have till January 7th to find an attorney or figure out how to represent myself pro se, get my money back from my attorney. So I've got a lot of work to do. And I don't imagine the attorney giving my $35,000 back, but I'm going to request it in writing, explain with the letter attached. I was going to get a phone call during this. Sorry about that. I was going to mention that before I started. I'm doing this on my phone, and I knew that my phone was going to ring while I'm doing this. So, and it was a number I don't know, just some random number. If I call it back, it'll say it's been disconnected, like 75% of the numbers that call. So now I'm in the position to find an attorney that will represent a targeted individual and bring up the organized stalking and harassment and help me prove that these people were stalking and harassing me by subpoenaing the video surveillance footage of the QT, if that's still possible to get, hopefully. These body camera footage, videos, and then going over the statements of the plaintiff and showing that they lied throughout the whole thing. So I have everything. I just need somebody that will represent me or figure out how to go pro se. Somebody was mentioning something about $1,000 yesterday. I'm thinking that's probably around how much it costs to file pro se. I'm not sure. I'll go ahead and look into that. There's a federal judge, Judge Posner. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. That helped Brian Vukadinovich with some situations. It seems to be like the most fair judge in the United States. I'm going to talk to him for some help, and some other people that know this stuff. I must have missed the last comment. Somebody's LOLing. What am I missing here that I'm telling you? Oh, okay, so they appointed me a public defender, fired my attorney. Here's the part. In this letter, I'm told to the judge that my attorney not only ignored my claims of organized stalking and harassment, but mocked me and said that the judge will never hear that, the judge will never listen to that, and they'll never let any of that, if you try to present any of that evidence, they'll never allow it into court. So in my letter, I stated that was my attorney's reaction, and I explained how there's all kinds of different reasons why somebody would be stalking and harassing me, and then I stated that there were groups like InfraGard, Citizen Corps, and FBI Secret Surveillance Group that stalk and harass people that are involved in domestic surveillance, and that the MMPI test says that a person is delusional if they think people are following them, yet this is conflicting information. If these groups say they do this, but then people are called delusional for noticing it, you're getting false diagnosis. And I got that. I was going to read my statement in the court, and the judge wouldn't let me read it aloud. He read it behind closed doors in the chambers, and then when it was my turn to go up, um, he said that he'd read my statement and he won't let me read it in court. And I said, well, Your Honor, I would like to read this because I would like it to be transcribed and be on permanent record for the court. So then what he did, I took 3 copies of this. He took a copy of mine and filed it into my file as a permanent record in this court case. So now in my permanent record, there is a complaint of organized stalking and harassment, and it shows which groups could possibly be involved in this. And I don't think that happens very often. So even if they put me through the ringer here, I at least have my complaint on record in court, transcribed for down the road when FISA documents get actually declassified someday, hopefully, if they ever do. When these programs are released, public information. So at least I got that part done, and that I'm hoping will benefit all of you. So now this letter that I wrote, this statement, will be in public record. I don't think it'll be available to the public until this case is over, but as soon as it's over, you can search for this case and find this document in the court papers. And that's forever. So something that might outlive me. Hopefully somebody down the road. I did not get my plea deal undone. No, they didn't drop the plea deal. They just gave me till January 7th to get everything straightened out, get my money back. And yeah, it is a multi-trillion-dollar program. I think, this is my guesstimate after all the research, checking out Ken Peartree's breakdown of what it costs to target a person a year. I'm guessing, educated, estimated guess, $10 trillion a year, $9 to $10 trillion a year. And I'm going by, if there are 3 million targets in the world on this list, which is only 1% of the population. So less than 1% of the population. That's just 1 out of 100, a little more than 100. And it costs $3.7 million a year, which is easy with all of this foot traffic and auto traffic, helicopters, planes, businesses with government contracts be involved in this. It could easily be that much, and it could just be like one of the biggest scams in in our history. And I can't believe I got stuck in the middle of this nonsense. But I'm almost thankful I did. I feel like I've done something positive now. Even if they ended it tomorrow, I feel like I've done something good. So, man, I walked out of that courtroom today feeling like a champion. I didn't win, but just going in, doing the right thing, and standing up for myself, speaking, making them take this statement and putting it. Whoa, my live stream is not coming through there. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm sorry if I'm not talking very loud. Here, I'll get closer. It's just cutting my head off here. All right, so I'm going to start out and ask outside of the TI community for some money. All of us are broke. Okay, good. So I don't ever expect anybody to. Yes, the Lighthouse Law Club. I will definitely check them out. And has anybody heard any news about FISA? Anything about FISA? Yeah, your neighbor took you to court. Yeah, that's actually okay. So later on today, Jason Goodman and Brian Vukadinovich are doing an episode on, I don't know if he's doing it on just his YouTube channel or Patreon or both or what, but Jason and Brian Vukadinovich are going to be covering this, how they keep setting people up to go through the court system by manipulating them. And the started calling it lawfare. I don't know if somebody else called it that a long time ago or if it was a term,
but it's how they've weaponized the justice system uh, to use against the people, and that so many targeted individuals are going through all of this really really time consuming, costly, traumatic court system and getting juggled around um, for no reason, just because they want to filter people through there. It's not about getting the bad guys anymore. They've got that covered. They've got the world surveilled. They know what everybody's doing, so they're like, okay, we know what everybody's doing. Let's create some bad guys. President Trump is a targeted individual, but he does not know the term. I agree with you 100%. I believe that. So here's where people will try to say these people are nuts. They think that the same thing that's happening to Donald Trump is happening to the rest of these people. So you think you're as good as the president, but that has nothing to do with it. It's filling a slot. And the more people they put on this list, the more money they make each year. The government contract grows. I've talked about this a lot. If you have a government contract and you don't spend the proper amount of money that year for your fiscal year, you don't get that amount of money the next year. So if you try to spend more and show a cause for that, then you get that same amount or more next year. And if you don't spend that money because you're getting all the bad guys and you're like, okay, we're kind of getting them all, and then you realize, wait, our organization is not growing anymore. Wait, we have a union. They need to try to grow the organization. What do? Let's create bad guys. Simple. But we're not test subjects. Carwa and Fresno. What's Carwa? Yeah, society's messed up. We need to fix it. It's up to us. For sure. I'm doing what I can right now. This is scary as hell. If they screw me, I go to prison. I gotta like fight for Cheetos. Uh, what about the American Civil Libertarians Union? I've tried to contact ACLU. They don't want anything to do with this, and they're super super liberal. Uh, and I voted all Republican this time, but I'm an independent. Uh, yeah, ACL is weak on this. I mean, if they are advocates for freedom and fair treatment, then where the hell are they on this? There's millions of us explaining what's going on, and Trump is another puppet. I don't think so. He wouldn't have signed Executive Order 13818, which directly covers government corruption, like the human trafficking that we're going through. So I think it's just taking him a while to put all the right people in place, like federal judges and other people that will actually carry this through, like the new attorney general. Um, so it takes a while. Everything, it's. I think I've talked about like how the ocean, it takes forever to get warm after summer. In the government, these things are huge. It takes a while to make progress. I missed a couple of the comments there. I'm sorry. No one asked why DT is orange. Doesn't matter. Orange man bad. Like forget about how this guy looks. You might as well just say, why was a yeah, I don't even use. Doesn't matter what the guy is spraying on himself. I mean, that just shows it. Get past that, you know. Anyway, read books. Okay, cool. Nobody's perfect. I'm talking about this point in time right now. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people in the military, their targeting started after they got out of the military, especially if that is secret or above. Yeah, there are some trolls here. Whatever, I'm used to them. I don't even get that little cringe anymore when they come around. Uh, yeah. All right. Do I have any more information? I don't want to make this video too boring. So anyway, long story short, made it into court. Made a home without coming home a felon today. Got some more time to hire try to hire somebody that'll represent me, and if not, be prepared to represent myself, pay the fees that I have to pay to do that. And if the court system just says, no, you cannot do that, then, well, I don't know. Well, don't just have to see how I do it. Is this a USAP related program? USAP, Unacknowledged Special Access Program. I believe it is, because I don't believe that Congress is aware of this, and I don't believe that the president. A USAP is a program that Congress is not aware of, president's not aware of. Only a small compartmentalized group over the top of the pyramid knows about these programs, and they go unchecked. There's no transparency, and they can use these classified designations to cover up anything they want to do. Like, look at what Lockheed Martin Skunk Works did in the 70s and 80s with kids. Snuff films. My dad told me what a snuff film was in 3rd grade, and I was like, why is he telling me this? So he worked at Lockheed Martin. I don't know. I haven't cracked that whole thing yet, but anyway, somebody just said I should do more live shows. Maybe I will. I need to get better at having something to keep me going, stay at least entertaining and informational. Did they give you an option of public defender? Yeah, they appointed one to me. Third party actors, please. Okay, I didn't get to finish reading that. These are going away on my phone. So I'm going to do the encoding software and get the computer hooked up so I can do this and read comments better. And I think it might be necessary to do the super chat thing here eventually if I want to do these live shows, do a bunch of research, spend time doing that, and do kind of like Lionel does, or a lot of these other guys, and just ask for some help, and the people that have the means, the capital, can help independent journalists, and that's what I'll try to do. I'll keep trying to put out good information. Okay, Karen. Okay, how can your friend protect against weapons? Karen Melton Stewart just did a show on the Ella Free Show. Just go on YouTube and look up Ella Free Show. And Karen Melton Stewart, who, if some people don't know who she is yet, worked for the NSA for 28 years. She's a targeted individual, and she's one of the leading persons on targeting. Check that show out. And there's also a guy that did an interview on Ella Free. Oh, what is that guy's name? Just go to her, just when you go on her channel, go to most viewed videos, and it's, oh no, Roger Tulsis. Roger Tulsis is his name, and he's an expert on shielding and detecting things like that. So Roger Tulsis, Karen Melton Stewart, read Dr. Robert Duncan's book. This one I'm missing some comments, I'm sorry. But yeah, this book is a good book to read here. There's information in there, so stuff doesn't sound so freaky. You can understand it. I'm glad I'm free too. I wasn't sure what they were going to do today. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like talking to you guys. I don't know who half of you are, but I look forward to doing this. Good way to communicate. Once you've been isolated, you kind of find some friends, find some people that can identify with what's going on, and you can have a live chat with them and answer questions. I love it. I love it. You have a Bible you can throw at them. Hey, I prayed this morning first thing I did when I woke up. On my way there too. Aluminum window screen. Okay. I haven't done anything to shield. Actually, whatever they're doing to me, I'm just taking the brunt force of it. I guess I'm talking about enough for them to call me crazy. But if like say CPS or somebody ended up in my house and they come in and I've got a bunch of copper things all over the place, like my helmet and all that stuff, it just give them a reason. So I'm just going to deal with that part. Patriot Act to take. Yeah, this happened right after the Patriot Act. Everybody's experiences, not everybody, but a lot of people's experiences started right after the Patriot Act. They took away our our Fourth Amendment rights, and people didn't realize that. Thank you, thank you. I didn't think I'd be one of the people that people look forward to my videos, um, but it turns out it's starting to be the case, and I'm having a good time, and I appreciate all of you being here. And really, I wouldn't be in the position I am right now if people on YouTube hadn't messaged me. Somebody on you. Here's how I figured out about emotion discovery, which apparently, when you hire a criminal a criminal attorney, actually, yeah, a criminal attorney. When you hire your attorney, they're supposed to do a motion discovery and sit down with you and do kind of like a strategy. Okay, I will. Don't make me. They'll come up with a strategy with you with the motion discovery, and somebody on YouTube that moved out of the country that just watches my YouTube videos said, "Ask for a motion discovery." So I told my attorney, "Hey, man, this guy said." Actually, I didn't say this guy. I said I researched, and I wanted to do a motion discovery. So 9 months after this thing, after I hired this attorney, I finally figured out that I can do a motion discovery, and I asked for that, and now they won't give me all of the evidence, and I start going, wait a minute, you're not doing your job. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not giving me what I'm asking for because it will prove what I'm talking about. And so thanks to that guy, I can't even remember who it was. And then a few of my friends that I do interviews with online gave me some pointers, pointed me in the right direction to do my own research and find these Arizona state rules. And without all of you out there, this video would be about me coming home saying, well, I'm a felon now. I'm going to be documenting how probation works and how the psychological evaluation system works and all of this stuff. Whatever they're going to put me through, I'm documenting it and putting it on. So that's what this video would have been about without the help from the people on my YouTube channel. So there's good people out there still. You dread pilled me for sure. Okay, good. There's so much evidence, and if anybody has any questions about any part of this, I'm on most of it. I've talked about the disposition matrix. Research the disposition matrix. That is ridiculous. No American voted for that. Yeah, we are a threat to shadow government. So, and then one thing I've learned is there's a difference between the deep state and the shadow government. They're two different entities. So look up Kevin Shipp, former CIA counterintelligence officer, took down, excuse me. Oh my gosh. That never happens. Oh man, timing on that was impeccable. Anyway, Kevin, look up Kevin. He explains the deep state and shadow government and the difference and how they are hidden in these USAPs, unacknowledged special access programs, and they use your money to terrorize you. Yeah, I know. I haven't been eating as much since my girlfriend left because she did make me food all throughout the day. I gained like 15 pounds while she was here. So, but I've got actually some, I don't know, this might gross people out. I have some cottage cheese toast over here waiting for me when I get done with this thing. Oh man, I missed that comment about CIA liaison. Yeah. One still a way to go. Yeah, we have a way to go. Somehow the FISA, and I'm so tired of even hearing my own self say this. Oh, good. You're not a TI, but this is all very interesting to hear about. That nothing makes a targeted individual feel better than somebody that's not targeted understanding and researching and looking into this a little bit more to understand how it works, how it operates, how it's funded, what groups are responsible for this, how it's unconstitutional, how it mimics the Stasi police, Why did the girlfriend leave? Just didn't get along. Yeah, it's hard being targeted and having a relationship. And there were some things that happened again with impeccable timing, and I don't want to go into too much. And I actually was the one that made the final decision, and I made the decision. It was just the most responsible thing to do. Sucks being alone, as most of you know that are watching this, but at least I had somebody here for 6 months that actually drove around with me, and we got to experience the same thing and have conversations about the different types of targeting, what she's gone through, the different setups that she's gone through, and uh, it's not just like one person realizing, oh my god, there's 10 red cars around me. They all got their phone out and they're all staring at me weird, and they're swerving in towards me. You try to explain that to somebody that's not seeing it, and then it sounds a little bit like, what are you talking about? She targeted now. She has been for years, since like 2004. Story goes. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that and imply that she's not targeted, but she went through a lot. We had a lot of talks about what she's gone through. Yeah, there's always people parked in front of my house, and then I'll go out there just kind of check it out, and then they just take off. Especially if I have my camera on, I'll go up to talk to them and say, "Hey, how you guys doing? I live at the very back of the neighborhood. Nobody would come back here unless they live here or they're visiting somebody, or they're trying to get away from their parents and come back to the street back here in the back of the neighborhood and smoke a joint, or I don't know, something, whatever." But it happens a ridiculous amount of time. I've got it on some of my evidence videos. I just recorded a guy last night. Actually, I went out front. And of course, there's a guy sitting right out in front of the house just with his lights on, aiming at my house. Yeah, be careful chasing these people. Don't chase anybody. I'll speed up a little bit, but man, I highly recommend not chasing anyone. I missed that last comment, right, guy? Sorry, that's your. No, that'd be cool. Thanks. Yeah, so if they follow you to Harbor Freight and Tool, it's probably a place you like to go. You enjoy going in there, checking out the tools, and like, oh man, I get this grinder for $12. You enjoy that, so they want to ruin that experience for you. And if you've been targeted for any amount of time, they've got a profile on you and where you like to go, what you like to do. So it seems it gives you the perception that everybody in the world is just like this, is doing this, but they put people in your path, and it just seems like it's everybody in the world. So, oh, they totally look confused. They don't think they brief these people on what to do when we counteract. Man, they get the most perplexed looks on their face, like they want to whip out the standard operating procedure book and refer to it like, they didn't tell me about this guy, starting to explain the Executive Order 13818, FISA, and organized stalking, harassment, and anything that they can ask me. Damn. All right, I'm sorry about missing some of these comments. This is a big problem, so I'll fix that on my next live stream. And yeah. Ambrose, how long have you been targeted? How long have you known that you've been targeted? Or did you find out when you were targeted? Because if what you're talking about, how they talk to you in line when you go to the store, is called directed conversation. So targeted individuals are under surveillance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Somehow, I don't know how they do it, but they've done the exact same thing to me. My big old eyebrows here, I'll pluck these things every once in a while because they kind of get out of control. And I did that one day in my bathroom. Stopped by Carl's Jr., unplanned, and the guy starts having a conversation about how gay people pluck their eyebrows. And Carl's Jr., the employee, really loud, talking about, man, fags pluck their eyebrows. So that's called directed conversation, and it's to let you know that anything that you're doing is being monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to make you feel uncomfortable. If you can't be comfortable in your own home, you're going to have anxiety, and that's a lot of what is going on here. I said, I'm gay and I don't pluck my eyebrows. Hey, exactly. That guy was wrong. He was just using that to just psyop. They do to intimidate you and make you feel uncomfortable. And then they get the little smirk on their face that, like on Benjamin Franklin on Money. How did they know you were going to even be at Carl's Jr.? That's a good question. Okay, so here's my theory on this. They're constantly collecting data on the targeted individual, whether it is, I'm sorry, I'm going to ignore a couple comments for a minute because this is a good question. They're constantly collecting data on the targeted individual, taking photos of you in public to get the most recent photo, listening to you in your home, private conversations, and then entering that into a database. So they would use an algorithm to process all of that information probably and send it out to these compartmentalized groups that stalk and harass you in public. So all they have to do is, because most of us are probably chipped or have something on our car that tracks us, or there's some way that they track us. I think Richard Lighthouse explained it, that they can track us just with satellites. He worked for NASA. He was an engineer. I would probably listen to him. He's one of the founders of Targeted Justice. So, however, they're tracking you whenever you come into a certain area. So, like, you go into the grocery store. I talk about the grocery store a lot because it's like a battle zone in there for me. I go to the grocery store. However, they're tracking me. The app triggers and says the target is coming into the area. It pops up. It shows your most recent photo, and it gives them a script of what to say to you, and then they mob you, and then they use the directed conversation. They stand in your way. Like, say you write out a list, you talk about your list to the grocery store. They will listen to that, and then when you go to the grocery store, like 10 things on your list, there will be some senior citizen on a little cart, beep beep. Right when you're going up to get the cheese, all of a sudden they look back, they're on their phone, and all of a sudden they need to back right into the cheese. It sounds so goofy, but and then you go to the tomatoes, and there's somebody there trying to figure out, I don't know what to do here, and there's like a whole family surrounding them, so you can't get in there. It's an event at every little thing you want to get. And the way they would do this, they'd use it. They're not just following everybody all through town. They're playing like zone defense in football. So in football, zone just means you cover this area, don't go out of this little area, and anybody that comes into that area, you don't let them catch the ball. And that's basically how I think these people operate. So surveillance to get your information passed on to some big computer that they upload everything to. Everybody has an app that's connected to all of this information. They get your photo, they get their script, and then they start their street theater and their directed conversation to antagonize you and ruin your day and make you want to just leave town or something. You just get tired of it. And that's how that works, in my opinion. We just need to find the app. Oh, I just saw Kathy posted on here. Sorry, Kathy, I missed your comment. How you doing? Anyway, yeah, I don't know what you just said. My password turned heat full blast. Send you gifts too. What's funny? There was some interesting positivity today. There's always like the car that'll pull in front of you that they've got some kind of weird sticker on their car. Their customized license plate. And one of the cars that got in front of me today had a sticker, and the emblem on the sticker looked like my old elementary school mascot at Mickey Cox in California. Mickey Cox Cowboys. It was this cowboy, and he pulled in front of me. It's the same guy. It looks like the same silhouette, and it just says "Cowboy up," and I was like, "Damn straight." So that could have just been a coincidence, but it almost felt like somebody was kind of giving me so whatever that was, coincidence or not. But then I made it through court. I did my thing. Oh, there's a train going by right now. Did my thing, and there was a guy. There was an old Air Force veteran that was in Vietnam. He got Agent Orange. I had a conversation with him before, and I gave him an earful of what I talk about here in my videos. and explained it to him perfectly, and which was cool because I kind of got to test out my how my words were going to come out before I went into court with that guy, and like he listened to me and explaining everything, and said he'd check me out on YouTube. He said a couple things that sounded a little bit perpish, but when we were leaving the courtroom, my daughter was with me, and he stopped me on my way out, and he said, "Hey, uh, keep your chin up," or something like that to me. I missed what he said to me really, but he shook my hand and he turned to my daughter and said, "Hey, your dad's a good guy," and we took off. And then I didn't say a word to my attorney. Actually, I'm done with them. Zero will come out of that. We walked out of there. I didn't get any paperwork. I don't know who my public defender is. So tomorrow, I've got some research, some calls to do, and figure out who this person is that I need to work with, or find another attorney, whatever. Um, yeah, I've heard a lot of other people say that they put stuff on their ceilings too. There was a footprint on my daughter's room one day when we got home, on our ceiling. We walked in there and we were like, "Do you remember that footprint being there yesterday?" She said, "No, I don't remember that being there." I don't know, maybe it was, but a few people have told me that. Yeah, you can find the address and the name of the people through a PI. I think it'd be pretty expensive. There's a program that you can pay for where you can look people up, but I think you're supposed to be like a private investigator if you. I don't know. I started doing that. I started recording the license plates because I was going to give them to a private investigator, and then I realized I don't know. I stopped on that project for a little while. But yeah, they do all kinds of different things to get you to try to explain it, and then when you do, uh, it's really hard for the average person to just process that information. Radar devices to burn families into sensibility. I use the online program when they. Yeah, yeah, man, they mess up all kinds of stuff. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Whatever you have going on, if you're buying a car, they'll lie to you and charge you $4,000 more than you thought you were paying, and then you find out like 2 months later that they switched the documents. They're changing your power meter. Make sure that take the smart meter off. That's on my list of things to do. I don't know if that's an actual. I mean, seems like there's a lot of proof. And when the lady put the smart meter on my house, all I did, and this was part of the gaslighting, I'm pretty sure. She worked for the power company. But I went out there and I was completely friendly with her. I said, "Hey, how's it going? I was just checking to see what you're changing out on the side of the house." And she lost it and was like, "Let me do my job." And I was like, "Whoa, I am. I just live here and I'm curious what you're putting on my house." And she just kept going off. And I said, "Listen, if you're going to talk to me like that, you're going to get off my property right now and you can go get somebody else to do whatever you're doing." So they left my power turned off for hours. Supervisor came out and talked me out of filing a formal complaint, which I should have followed through. Anybody that does this, file a formal complaint with their company. And don't let them talk you out of it and tell them that person had a bad day or somebody passed away in their family. They will think about any excuse to get you not to file a formal complaint, and that's what this takes. File formal complaints with everybody that messes with you, that gaslights you, that gives you bad service. If they treat you good, treat them good, tip them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, my power would go out randomly too when I'm making videos, and especially it would go out. I was late on paying a couple bills, and I was worried about it. And I talked about like, man, if I don't pay this light bill, they're gonna shut the lights off. That night, my power went out. And it turns out it was just a local power outage. It wasn't me not paying the bill. It made it through. So it was one more impeccable timing. Yeah, they give you a hard time to change that. There must be a reason why they want to keep it in there. I don't know. There's a lot of people researching that right now. That and the 5G and the our brain has no firewall, as Dr. Duncan says. Yeah, off grid. That's awesome. Unfortunately, the Department of Homeland Security considers you a terrorist because you want to live off grid, not a good person that loves the planet. Um, but good for you. That was my goal when I went to Oklahoma. I wanted to leave California and go off grid, and I got shanghaied along the way. Now here I am talking to you guys about it. So eventually, I'll live on a piece of property with a metal shop and some solar panels, and collect water, all that government dissident stuff. Um, Yeah, they think we're okay. So go to the Department of Homeland Security website and look up their definition of threats to the United States government. And the way they have it worded, they can literally put any American, basically anybody, anyone, on it they don't like. So there's some things that need to be changed. A lot of laws, rules, regulations. I think the military tribunal needs to happen, and I don't know if I'm hearing false news or what the hell's going on, but apparently we're going to go into um, martial law for a little bit in order for them to do these military tribunals. And I'm hoping during the military tribunals they tear down all these 5G towers if that's really if they're really not used for just our cell phone communication. If they're used for what they're saying they're used for, I hope that that's part of the process. Psalm 35. That's my prayer. Okay, I'll check it out. I got rid of the Bible I had because it was I found it at an estate sale. Oh my gosh, somebody just gave me $10. That's the first time anybody's ever done that on here. That's awesome. Thank you. Damn, you snuck that up on me. Man, you ever seen a grown man get choked up over $10? Thank you, I appreciate that. I've never asked for money in my entire life. And well, when I was a firefighter, when I was a full-time firefighter, I was taking care of 4 kids and my fiance. Nobody worked. I went to work, and we were in California. It was pretty expensive, so I went ahead and got WIC, the Women, Infant, and Children. So we'd go to the store, get milk and cheese. I'd get off duty at the fire department, go into my uniform, and use my WIC coupons for a little while just to make sure everybody got to eat. And thanks for being a volunteer firefighter, man. You guys were always fun to work with. So I did that for a while just so we could all eat, and that's the only thing I've ever asked for. So I should start a GoFundMe page. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that. I've heard that they don't really like people like me too much on GoFundMe, but I'll see if I could do something like that, because I don't know if this attorney's going to give me my money back. They're gonna. I mean, they haven't worked with me at all since the time I gave it to them. So I might need some money, and I'll tell you what, to get through this, well, no matter what what's going to happen, writing a book, there's got to be a book written. You almost have to write a book to properly explain what you've been through. A novel, every targeted individual should do this. You know, it's like your affidavit. It'd be a novel this thick, and it's actually one of the things they do in counseling to help you relieve trauma. I know I'm getting off track here, but I knew a guy named Hawkeye that was in Vietnam. He was a forward observer, and he sustained a bunch of injuries in Vietnam. He died of mesothelioma not too long after I met him, actually a couple years after I met him. Where was I going with that? Damn it. I lost track. What was I just talking about? I need like a Jamie on Joe Rogan. That'd be cool. Somebody could look stuff up for me. Damn it, I went off on a tangent, and yeah, there's only so much information that you can fit in your head. Well, good. I hope that makes you feel better, and not take any kind of opiates or anything like that. Yeah, I learned to stay away from the psychiatrist people. Oh man, you people are awesome. I didn't set the super chat up thing up because I didn't want to ask people for money, and now there's some people throwing some money at me right now, and it feels really cool because I watch like Lionel and these guys, and Jason Goodman and different people that are independent journalists that are taking time and effort to put the truth out there to people. And I'm like, gosh, it's awesome. These guys are making some money. It'd be kind of cool. So, I'm not going to do this solely that, but I'm telling you that feels really good for somebody just to send me a few bucks to help out. Um, thank you. Thank you. I've got 60 people listening right now. Is there anything before I go, man, I'm going to watch this and go, I need to finish that story. If there's any other questions before I go, I'm going to go ahead and eat my breakfast here and try to get started on some of the research and stuff that I need to do. And how's business? It's been I spent a month listing things that I've been holding on to for years, and it went up a little bit. But I am behind on shipping right now. I've gone 2 days. I've been working on this, trying to get ready for court and everything, make sure I'm completely focused on that, got good sleep and everything. So I'm behind on my work. So that's actually what I'll probably be doing next. We go search for hats. Thank you. I appreciate the comments and the compliments. I appreciate it. Your confidence is the thing that they go after the most in this. They want you to feel like you're a complete failure and that you've done something terrible and you're being punished for it, and you will never get ahead, and there's no hope. And I've made it this far. Some of you have made it this far. You've done more than I have. So I'm not the guy, but I will. It was good talking to you. Thanks for asking questions and hanging out. Okay, license plates, numbers. Yeah, that's real. Thank you. You guys are an inspiration too. That's why I'm here. Part of the reason I'm here. I can't believe this many people are going through this. Yeah, I do have electronic harassment. I just don't get into it too much because I'm trying to go at this at a kind of a different angle. But yeah, there's some stuff if I explain to some people that has happened to me that it's not time yet. So, Lighthouse Law Club. Yes, sir. Thank you. Oh yeah, thank you, Badger Report. I've watched your videos, man. I tell you're going through this too. But thanks for sending me messages and information. All the people that are sending me information, I appreciate it. All right, this is probably getting. Oh my God. Oh man, you guys are just trying to see me cry on. How do you make a grown ass man cry? Give him $50. All right, I appreciate that, and I will do more live streams. So I'll just start working on that. I'm going to try to do as much as possible. Everybody, please check out Crowdsource the Truth tonight with Jason Goodman and Brian Vukadinovich. They're going to be talking about lawfare and how they have weaponized the system to target, harass, slander, incarcerate, drug American civilians, put them through the justice system. And that should be a good show. I haven't heard back from Jason. I might appear on that for a couple minutes just to talk to those guys to kind of update them, but I kind of updated everybody on this live stream here, so I don't know if it's even necessary. Maybe I kind of messed that one up. But either way, that's going to be a good show. Please check it out. And thank you so much, Butterfly. I don't know. Um, Send me a message who you people are. I'd like to write you thank yous or something. You know, thank you somehow. Okay, everybody, stay strong. I'm just gonna call it. I gotta go. I'm running out of stuff to say, and I'm getting. Thank you. I hope it does too. Thank you. All right, everybody. Have a good day. It was good talking to you all. Thank you so much for the donations. I did not expect that. I appreciate it.